clients in their endeavor, and TOGAF 9.1 certified by Open Group Organization USA, and he got IBM certified solution advisor in cloud computing architecture, and also he has PMP certified by PMI USA, and Six Sigma Green Belt certified by PMI USA, and also certified re-engineering expert by American Experts Technologies USA, and he is having vast experience in IT field, more than 22 years of diversified IT experience in deliver and enterprise to enterprise architectural designs and solutions in TCS, and he is having experience in multi-vendors and multi-locations delivery models, and also he is working for more than 8+ years in USA, 2+ years in UK, and 6 months in Australia, and also he has a corporate coach also. He is done project management, stakeholder management, time management, planning and delivery management for PMPs, and he done Pragati workshops for middle layer managers, and also he is a session chair and also keynote speaker in various colleges like Sri Sai College of Engineering and Dr. AIT and Don Bosco Institute of Technology. And other than this technical field, he is also expert in yoga and Reiki healer of that means Reiki medical healer, and he has done so many workshops on yoga, pranayama and meditation sessions in USA, UK and India. Thank you, sir. Welcome, Prabhudeva, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Shall I start, sir?
Okay, sir. You can start, sir.
Yeah, I'll just present now. Are you able to see my screen, sir?
Hi. Screen is not visible, sir. Your face is only visible. Screen is not.
Okay, hold on a second. Oh, I need to select this.
Okay.
Yeah. Now?
Yes, sir. Now it is visible.
Okay. Let me go in a presentation mode.
Okay, sir.
ಕಂಪ್ಯೂಟರ್ ಫ್ಲೋರ್ ಇವ್ರನ್ನ ಕೇಳ್ಬೇಕಪ್ಪ, ಪ್ರಕಾಶ್ನ. ಹೌದೌದು.
It's taking a couple of seconds. Yeah. Is it okay now? Are you able to see my screen?
It's okay, sir.
Okay, super. Good morning, all. Good morning, everyone. So I'm Prabhudeva Shobha. I'm working in TCS 22 years completed, 23rd is running. And I've been giving these sessions to all the educational institutes and as well as within my company for the middle layer managers and the middle layer architects to become an enterprise architect and those things. And this is when Kempana sir called me. So this is a new thing, the consultancy and then the management. I have done it separately, management separately and consultancy separately. But this is the first time I'm clubbing together and then bringing it to the platform here today. So before going to digital consultancy, I would like to look into the scientific application research areas. So what are those and why are those are keen today? And then what is that we need to do? What are the research areas and then all those things. And what is the definition of scientific application? It's a leverage of information and communication and to bring the difference in our day-to-day life, scientific or engineering or industrial or social domains. So nowadays the social and the health domains are prominent, and even Prime Minister Modi is also encouraging the health sectors to do something. So there's what we are bringing is our IT, whatever the information is there, that and then the digital technologies together, and then bring a difference in the scientific domain, engineering domain, industrial domain, and social domain. So I'm just taking one, you all are familiar with this, but still I'd like to just touch base. Okay. Vision, what would be that? Okay, how research would have been done in the IT world, I mean in the corporate world, from the industry perspective. So there could be other perspective from the educational, or there could be another perspective from the research organizations, and there could be some other approaches, okay, different approaches. But I am bringing an industry thing, what we do inside our data consultancy services. Okay. So how we are looking at this research things. Okay. First, we are looking at the models. Okay. It may be chemical model, or material model, or biological model, or IT model, or the business model, or if it is related to banking, only the banking models. We take the models, and there are the two types of data. One is experimental data, another one is field data. So these are the two data we look into this and then bring it to this. Okay, slowly look at this, and then the designs. Okay, there are material design, and once the models are there, and then you go for the designs, okay, with respect to those domains, like material domains, or biology, or drug, if it is the medical field, and if it is the computational, or if it is the finance, or if it is the HR, that domain. Okay, so you get the design out of that. Okay, and the experimental data, we use it for the simulation. So when we use the simulation, when your product is ready, product you are designing, you design your product, okay, 10% of your product is designed. So you want to test it, okay, whether it is working fine or not, okay, what is the behavioral factors of this, and what are the outcomes, okay, can I change that, can I change this, or can I include something, okay. So that 20-30% what you, when you design completed, you go to the simulation and then analyze it, and then do a validation, and then verify, and if any changes are there, again you come to experimental data and then do it. For do experimental data, you need a field data, the core data. Okay. The core data which is coming from the field data. So what are the applications we are doing in the field data? We use statistical models, we use the prediction models, we use hundreds of models on the field data to arrive at some decision, or some justification, or some proving something. Okay. This field data, how do you gather? So you gather from the market analysis, and the risk analysis, or product analytics, or within this is, I'm just giving a high level, you are all familiar, but still I'm just wanted to give a high level and touch base here, and then go to the next one. Okay. So either marketing, you go house to house, or industry to industry, or field to field, and then get the data, and the risk analytics, and then get this data and then put it under the statistical models, and then get the risk analyzed. Okay, what exactly the risk I'm coming at. Okay, and then the product analysis. If you are a product already available, and then you just use that as a sample product, and then give it to few users and few organizations, and use it, and then see the data, and approach the data, apply the statistical models, and then predict, okay, what is the outcome of that. Okay, organization, how they are using the product, and then the end user, the single users, individual users, how they are using the product, and then based on this, your prediction is wrong, right, that you will have to come up. This is an industry view, and on top of it, okay, and you add an optimization. Once you get the prediction and everything, you do the optimization, and that is pricing, planning, supply chain. How do you do this supply chain, and then how do you plan to market it? All these things will come into the picture. And outcome of a simulation is a validation, and then once the validation comes, okay, and then you add a human behavioral models. So if it is needed, you are research model, or is a material or chemical or biological models, or the design needs a consumer behavior or the crowd behavior. So then you put those elements, those design into the models, and then see the put it under the simulation and see the validation, how the customer behavior or consumer behavior happens, and the crowd behavior happens. This is at the high level. Okay. Hello. Am I audible?
Hello.
Please go on and mute.
The participants mute your mic.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Proceed, sir.
Okay. Area vision, simulation and data sciences. Okay. So this is what I am giving it. This is what we look at in the IT industry. So we take each model. If it is a chemical, and then we take a chemical model, and then we go to the chemical architects and chemical experts and then analysts, okay, and then put a model, a design, okay, which design is better, and then based on that you come up. Go through this all field data and experimental data. How do you collect the field data and then apply the experimental data, all the experimental data, and then add the behavioral factors and then all these things in a research. And then these are the few areas I have captured. There are thousands of areas available in today's world, in digital world. And the internet is making so many ways and so many opportunities coming up. But I have listed out here at the high level, okay, a few things which an IT industry looks into. One is the material engineering and the computation and life sciences, and the finance and then the risk, and then the human-centric systems and then social media. These are the e-sciences, okay, so which we look at it. And then the second one is the data sciences. In the data science, I'm less listing at the high level, only the 4 or 5, but it has around hundreds of areas within the data science, and then you can explore those research areas. Similarly, the computer science and then the applications and mobility, social innovation, speech and natural language processing, multimedia, graphics, robotics, data science, and analytics, and the machine learning, artificial intelligence, cloud computing. So many areas are the research areas. And then IT industry also encourages us to do all take up these research areas and then explore it. And then presently I'm working on the cloud and then IoT. So that is my interested area. Okay. And then measures for research from the IT industry. What we know, okay, on the industry perspective, okay, what are the measures, what are the success factors in the research, okay, when we are doing the research, and what kind of factors will impact my funding or my research funds or the organizational funds or the customer funds, okay, how do you gather those things, how do you apply and then get it those things. So these are the few factors which will influence logically and sometimes it's physically also. These factors which influence the funding when you are going for the research funds. The first is the H index researchers. What is this H index? I think you might be knowing it, what is this H index, but still for the benefit of the few people, a few new users, H index is coined in 2005 by J.E. Hirsch, okay, one of the scientists, okay, who coined in one of the publications. This is the H factor, where what is the H factor? H factor is analyzing number of papers you presented, okay, how many citations you got. Based on that, okay, your H factor will be defined. Say for example, I have a 10 PH, H factor as a 10 means all the publications of an author, all the publications, I mean all the papers and then all the research things, okay, all those things when he published in the media or when he published in the this one, and how many citations he got, number of citations. Okay. If for example he has produced, he might have presented or he might have come up with 30 papers under his bucket, but all the 30 papers, how many citations? Minimum 10 people, 10 citations I have for each paper, then it is a H level, H index of 10. So that means all the 30 papers have citations of 10. This is a H factor indicator, H index, okay, which will be used to gauge the research paper or research area of that particular, when you are going for the funding or when you are going for the funding. Okay, sorry, funding. The second one is the number of papers, publications, and the number of patents filed, and number of patents granted, and number of awards, and number of new PI. PI is process improvements recruited. That means the process improvements within IT industry is a process. We work on the process, okay, and we create a process for any problems. So that process, how it works? It is when you're creating a process, okay, what is this process improvement? So can I do an automation instead of manual things? Okay, can I get rid of the manual things and then come up with an automation and click up a button and then you will get end results? whether it is related to paper or whether it is related to Excel sheet or the financial data, HR data, or customer data, or customer delivery, or coding, or anything, architectural issues. So these are called process improvements within the industry. It might be applicable outside also, but for industry, this is within the industry, IT industry. This is one of the factors we decide. Okay, who would be a part of that particular research or the particular paper presentations. These are the 5-6 individual skills will be considered when we are going for the customer or the stakeholder funding. And similarly, number of ideas considered, and then new research projects, okay, and then how you come up with these ideas. There are various factors. Okay, various when we are discussing with the research area, working on the research area, or when we are enabling the team, we come up with some few ideas. And when we are doing with the research advisory board, when we are discussing every quarterly with the research advisory board, at that time we may come up with the new ideas. So all these new ideas are we usually do a quarterly once or the 2 quarterly once, okay, 6 months once. We do innovation day. And in a year we do at the Tata TCS level a innovation day where every employee is eligible to submit his new idea, whether it is on the paper or whether it is already working or whether it is already implemented or whether the product is ready to go to the users. All these things they can present in the innovation day and then win the prizes, and then if that is worth and ROI, I mean return on investment is worth, and then the management can take that as a product and then create a product and then sell it, okay, from the TCS. Okay, kind of those things. These all ideas will come from these things. Okay. A number of percentage of projects, okay, that move from the initiate to enable evaluate stage. And then what is the business impact? Okay, we always, the industry looks at the business impact. Okay, I don't know about the educational industries and then academics. Okay, but in the industry, it always the impact on the business and impact on the revenue and impact on the processes. Okay. How quick you will deliver it. Okay, explore, enable, and exploit. Okay, these are the few key words. Okay, we use it. Okay, when a number of research projects we have taken up, okay, and then we come up with this one, okay, at least the 3 customers should be impacted by this, okay, the value of the research, okay, or the value of the product or value of a software which I am creating within the industry, so that should be applicable, or the use cases, at least the 3 use cases should be there. I mean, 3 potential customers should determine that particular product, and then then we will get a funding for the big bang delivery. Okay. And similarly, it is acknowledged by the customer facing, and then the dollar value, what is the dollar value you are bringing to the customer. All these things, okay, we look at from the research angle, the measures for the research. Now, knowing all these things, the uniqueness, the skill level of a researcher, the number of paper presentation, paper presented, the number of patents presented, all these things, and top of it, the organizational support, all these things matters. But although this is there, and still there are whys will be there. Why means why I'm not moving into that particular area, why I'm not succeeding, or where I'm stuck up. Why I'm stuck up, okay, all these things. There are few factors which from the industry we are looking at. What stops us, okay, for the researchers or the architects, okay. So no clarity on the career path. So now I'm a cloud computing, and then somebody, my colleague is doing on the data science and he's moving faster, then I think, okay, data science is good, and then I'll jump onto the career data science. No, you define your career path and then go into that. And even in the academics also, you are already associated with the core engineering and then the applied engineering branches. The core engineering is like a civil, mechanical, electrical, electronics. All these things are core. And the applied is a computer science and then IT, information, and all these things are applied, industrial production. These are applied, and then the core already you are familiar, and then you choose that path and then go into that career and then define the roles, and then define aspirational goals, and then take some role models. Within our IT also, we have so many entrepreneurs within TCS, and then so many the scientific minds, and we take them as role models and then follow them. Okay. Similarly, retention of the senior researchers within the organization, and then higher education policies, okay, like salary, scholarship, all these things are not provided if he is exploring some PhD or some MTech or something in this one, and the organization has to provide. These are from the organization perspective, and the compensation anyway it will be a part of it. And then a few suggestions for process improvements, in number of process improvements. Now we have made a mandatory that, okay, at least a researcher, if you are getting into the research area, so at least you should have a 10 or 15 or 20 PIs, okay, which have improved your processes, or which have improved the customer satisfaction index, kind of those things. And then the workspace atmosphere is entirely changing, and every day it is changing, and with COVID it is changing, and then a new normal is now we are going to the office, okay, in the olden days. Now new normal is working from home. So the Tata is the pioneer in that, okay, the TCS is pioneer in that, okay, to implement this and then get a benefit of router, and then they implemented so nicely, and then now every customer, every other company is just mimicking the model of the TCS, work from home. So with that, you be in a home, and then you set up your own timings, and then work for that, and then excel in the organizations. Like, so far I have just given an overview of what exactly the research area from the IT industry. So what we look into the research area and how we tie up with the different customers. Okay, we tie up with the Microsoft, IBM, Oracle, Apple, Google. Every customer we are having a tie up. Okay, even Amazon, and we have excellence centers. Okay, excellence center is, okay, the COE, Center of Excellence Center. So Center of Excellence in the Microsoft. So all the Microsoft products in the center will be owned by that particular center, and any product of the Microsoft, they have expertise. So even in the research area, if I stuck up something, okay, I can go to, if I am using Microsoft products, so then I can go to these people and then ask them, okay, which would be you are using, which tool I need to use it, okay, to excel here, or to calculate this here, or come up with some justification. All these things will be, they will be guiding us, and then we have to take them and then implement in our research. Okay. Like that, Center of Excellences are there. So even in the academics, you have the expert people, subject matter experts, and then all these things. Probably you have to piggyback on them to get into these things. Okay. Now, I'm coming to the digital world. So with the digital, with the internet is placing in our DNA of our life every day. Every day the day changes with the digital way. So the best example is Modi. Modi is bringing so many changes. Okay? And then suddenly he brings up on some changes, and then every other guy will come up with a new project. Okay? If it's the banking sector, if it's the insurance sector, they have to come up with a new projects and then implement within the 3 months or 6 months to get those benefits. Okay? So, like GST, okay, GST earlier no CA or no financial authority that doesn't know that, okay, how to calculate this, and then he come up with that, and then so much of job opportunities are created on the GST. And now the government, central government itself is conducting 2 days course on the GST. How do you calculate this GST with respect to each industry, different world domains, different vertical industry, different horizontal industry, and then all these things. Okay, like this, when the federal government or the government, the central government comes with the new things, okay, now this will disrupt the technologies. Okay, this disrupt all the technology. That is why in the industry we call it as a disruptive technology. This is the technology which is bringing, it will be disrupting everything. So nowadays there are few things, okay, few technologies, okay, which are making as a new norms. Okay, without that we can't do a business. Okay? Like mobile computing. Without that mobile, okay, we can't do a business today. Okay, because there is a Paytm is there, Phone Pay is there, Google Pay is there, and then Bheem is there, and UPI is there. So many things. Okay, click of a button, you just transfer the money. Who knows? And then in the future, you are not seeing the money at all. Okay, you are just playing with these buttons. Nobody knows it, okay. But these are all disruptive technologies. That means it is changing, it is transforming the way we live, the way we do the business, the way we talk, communicate with the others. So, how you see this prosperity, okay, through this? Okay, how do you see the research opportunities within these areas? So by sitting at in an institution or in an organization, so I should not piggyback on, or I should not cry that okay, no, I didn't get research areas in an. I'm showing you that here is a platform. Here are the opportunities. How the world is moving. What is the revenue invested, or what is the revenue expected out of these technologies? These are all technologies which are disrupting our day-to-day life and the client's life and then the customer life and the company's life and the each individual life across the globe. So these are the 5 different digital opportunities for the researchers. One is the cloud computing, data sciences, artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, and machine learning. And don't think that okay, a civil engineer or the mechanical engineer or the electrical engineer will not have an opportunity here. Yes, everyone has opportunity because these are all applied engineering branches. These are not core ones. So when it is applied, anybody can sit and then learn in 2 or 3 months and then excel in that. Say for example cloud computing, you need only 2 months, not more than that. You don't know coding, that is also okay. You don't know language, that is also okay. But cloud computing, you can learn it in 2 months. Both are provided, you put a 1 hour, 2 hours every day. And then there are a lot many tools are available in the digital world. You sit in a home and then click of a button, you can learn. Similarly, data science. If you are interested in mathematics, you are expert in the mathematics or statistics, then you can go for the data sciences and as well as the artificial intelligence. Both need a mathematical background and mathematical aspects. If you don't know mathematics, you piggyback on somebody and then make him a partner who knows mathematics well and then do a research there. So I'm just little going in between inside this. Okay, what is this cloud computing? Cloud computing is like your utility. Like you use the electricity, at the end of the month you pay the electricity bill, and you use the water, and at the end of the month you give the water bill. Similarly, here also in the software world, there are so many applications, so many utilities, and so many products. You use them, and for the usage you paying it. And similarly, and across the this one is the manipulating or the accessing the application online. Everything in cloud is needed. So we are running on the Google Meet. So Google Meet is running on the cloud, and we are running on the MS Teams. And MS Teams is running on the internet. And then similarly the team Zoom. Similarly is the Duo. Similarly, so many things are dependent on the internet. And the internet now it is a backbone of every domain. You take a domain, even in the civil engineering also, internet is needed. You click on the design and then send it to the stakeholders and get the approval, the design, and then art changes and then do again. All these things happening digitally. So the paperwork is coming down, and then the manipulation on the papers is coming down, and everything is done in the digital. Similarly, the cloud service model, deployment models are there, different models are there. And then with respect to IT, how it is benefiting, the blue ones are benefiting, green ones are taking the responsibility. Like that. So I'm not going into the detail of these things. And then I'm just giving a high level view of the data science. Okay, what is this data science market capability? So now if you look at the 2018 figures, okay, it is almost all 40 billion industry or 50 billion industry. So now it is growing at the rate of 23%. Okay. So in the 2017 and 18 only it is a 23%. That means 50 billion growth and year on year. So how many opportunities are there in the data science? Can I make my students or my researchers get into this and then get hold of this? And it might need 3 to 6 months to master the data science. And then if you take one part in the data science to master it, it might take 1 year. Okay, in the data science also all the branches. Okay. There are so many branches in the data science, and you take one branches and then master it, and within a year you might be a data scientist. Okay. Who knows? But provided you need to have a statistical and mathematical and analytical mind. Okay. Everyone is open to these disruptive technologies. Okay. And what it needs is the mathematical expertise it needs, and the technology hacking skills it needs, and the third one is the business and then the strategy acumen. Okay, how do you come up with an analyst mind? Okay, that is needed. So combination of these three, the data science will give you a more number of opportunities in the research area. Okay. Because predominantly this is being used today The data science and then the artificial intelligence. These are the two major ones, technologies which are used in this healthcare and then the pharmaceuticals. Similarly, data science, okay, how many billions, okay, 140 billion, okay, they are expecting it in 2024. But that is the expectation in 2020, 2019. So with the COVID, it might change. It might go beyond 140. Nobody knows. Okay, internet usage is grown up. Okay? In the one year, okay, for instance, pre-COVID area and then post-COVID area, if you compare, the number of internet users are more. The number of hours spent in the internet is increased from 7 to 8 hours per day by each individual in today's world. Earlier it was 2.5 hours per day on the internet, but today everyone is using. The students are using, the faculties are using, the companies are using, the employees are using, banking sector is, everyone is using dependent on this internet. The usage is increased. Similarly, the branches are increased. Similarly, the wide open area, it is open to everyone. It is not confined to earlier, okay, if you are coming with a car designer, car things, okay, only the Tata can manufacture, only the Maruti can manufacture. No, today even you come up with an idea, you sell it to the Tata, and then he might take it, and then you can sell that idea to big companies also. Nowadays, that the bigger wide variety of things are coming. The only thing is we have to pioneer these student mind into that particular research oriented way. So when you put those minds on the research path, and then definitely they will grow like anything. And then if you look at 4.66 billion internet users, last year it was 3.5. So suddenly in the 2020 January it is 4.66. Now it might be increased. Okay, one cell phone is not enough. I need to have 2 cell phones or 2 laptops, and then that means one gentleman or one user is having 4 internet connections, 4 devices. Just imagine, okay, how the life is changing. Similarly, the Google can every minute how many searches will be conducted on the Google, amount of money spent. All these things are related to data science only. So why can't I explore this and then ignite the student mind or the researcher's mind? Okay, get into this, and you will get a more exposure to the digital world. Similarly, artificial intelligence. And I just covered here 6 areas. There are a number of areas are there: solving climate changes, and then more dangerous jobs with disposing a bomb, and then automated transformation, automated transportation, okay, and then robot as a friend. The robot as a friend is a big hit. Say for example in the COVID period or the pre-COVID period, especially in the Western world, we don't have an Indian connect. Okay. Here, Kaka, Mama, Chikapa, Chikama, Dodama, everybody is there. You just call them and then Mama will come or Chikama, somebody will come to you. That network is there, that relationship is there, everything is there. But in the Western world or the other countries, they don't have this kind of relationship, and then they need someone to talk to them. Because 21% of the young kids are in a depression. Because nobody is talking to them, or they don't know how to express their ideas or their thoughts. So that time, this robot as a friend is becoming a big hit. And if anyone, okay, we succeed in giving a small robot, okay, which will roam around you like a dog, and then talk to you, okay, and convince you, okay, and then that makes impact for a human being. That is a big leap or big achievement in the human life. Okay, so that I can reduce the depression, and then by reducing the depression, I can save the lives, and then make them as in another area experts or something like that. So this is also growing at a 40%. Okay, and then one of the 191 billion estimate for the 2025. The robots. Similarly, artificial intelligence, how it is changed over the years. Now, in AI specialist, okay, artificial intelligence specialist in US, he's getting yearly compensation of 300K to 500K. This is the New York Times MIT published in the 2019 early. Okay. And then now it is almost 2 years more. Okay. and the market is creating starting from 62 to 700 plus billion in 2027. That means how many research opportunities I would be having. Just you take one robotics only. So in the robotics only there are another a few branches are there. You take one branch and then go into that, do a research and then master it. You will be excelling in your journey of expert in these digital technologies. Similarly, machine learning, it is one of the tools which used by the artificial intelligence, and as well as in the few other industries also, machine to machine. And then the last one is the Internet of Things. This is changing entire our way of doing a business, our way of doing the marketing. So if I want to know, anybody, anywhere, any time, I can just put a sensors and then get the data and understand it and then analyze it and then see that, where he or she is there. Or if I want to put it, in the manufacturing industry, like for example in Jindal, so there will be 1000-degree heat will be there. The the human beings cannot go into those areas. There can I put a sensors, get the data. So when it reaches 800 degree, can I get the data? 800 degree spike and then do whatever before going into the danger zone. So can I cut down that? Can I make impact that it should not damage the things in the fire industry, safety industry, especially in the army. So many of Android things are used today. Drone is one of the examples. And it is also expected to grow almost 5 billion. They are expecting to grow, but it is still in the baby stage, and only few industries are interested into this Internet of Things because there is no enough research being done here. And whatever the research I am doing it is very costly effect. And then when it is a money matters comes, usually the corporates or the companies will take a step back and then go after 1 year or the 6 months. So similarly, I'm going into the Internet of Things only, growth. You just look at the growth. What I need, only devices, vehicles, and anywhere I can put it. In the device I can put it. See, for example, this is the cell phone. For the cell phone, if I put a small chip, and it will reduce the radiation of the cell. You know that? It costs me around 600 rupees, that's all. I can go to Modi Care and then apply, there's a KK Modi, you come up with a Modi Care, then I go to Modi Care, order that, and then it's a 650 rupees, I put a chip, and then it will reduce the radiations. And I can give it to the kids, because it's less radiations. And then similarly on the vehicles, the brake failure or any other failures, within this one, can I get a spark or can I get a inputs before that goes into the damage or into the firewall? Like for example, engine oil is less. Can I get today I'm getting on the dashboard. So if the brake is getting failure, and then can I get that on my cell phone? Boss, your brake is loose, and you go to first garage and then take a car outside. Similarly in the buildings, like if any the thief is entering into the building or any unknown person is entering into the building, how do I identify it? I put a sensor. If some movement is there, and I put a sensor and then camera also, so then I can identify a person, and I can also know that there is some intruder or some new people are getting into my house or my area. These are the few things. And then similarly, what are these? These are embedded with the electronics, software, sensors, network. Only 4 things. Electronic and electrical people can easily connect with this. Because sensor they know, networking they know, and then to the sensor I give some intelligence so that it will work for me. A small sensor I give intelligence as well as I'll give the view, a camera. So it does whatever the work I wanted to do. Look at the beauty of this. And then what are the connected things? Because today I am having 2 phones and then 2 laptops. That means one person is connected to the 4 things. Okay. Similarly, the total population is 7 billion of the world. But you may question, okay, 25 billion, how this is like this? In India, it is like, but in US, it is connected to your car, it is connected to your home, it is connected to your washing machine, it is connected to your entire house. Everything is connected. So one person minimum in US or in the Western world, have a 10 to 15 or 10 to 20 connections. Things what he uses. So one fellow will be having 4 or 5 cars. And then a car is must in the US.
Madam, you are able to log in?
If you are 18 years, you will have to have a car. Because there is no public transportation. Only in few cities it is available. Like the connected cars. 90% of the cars are connected. Okay, by 2022. That means a car is purchased by a user and then the company will provide that platform. So they will be connecting that car and then wherever it goes and then wherever this one, they can sit in a room, analyze that particular, the health of the car, the digestive thing, it's going into the that digestive path. Okay, that also they can identify and then give a indication to the user or the owner that, boss, you need to bring your car to the garage because it is having this problem. Sitting at one place. Nowadays, what we are doing? 3 months once or 6 months once, we are taking to the garage for the servicing. So here, the servicing can be servicing date can be provided by the owners itself or by the third party itself. You come up with a third party, you give that. This isn't a research idea. I'm just giving these are the different research ideas. Okay, you can come up with your students and then with your research people. Okay, and what is the market size? 262 billion. So it includes the big data, analytics, and then data science, and then everything in the internet of things is included. So if you look at it's actually the market is 328 billion. So if you look at the segregation, so at the standards and protocol itself is taking a 31 billion. Then next is your 4G, mesh, Wi-Fi, and then the LAN, WAN, everything. That takes another 17 billion. Just imagine, you take an area, like for example in Bangalore, Sadashiv Nagar, if you take it, entire Sadashiv Nagar, if I connect it with the Internet of Things, and each household, each owner or the renter in that particular area, how much billion I need to set? Just imagine. It will come, but it might take time. It might be in 5 years or 10 years. Definitely it's going to come. And the top of it, the cloud. That has 18 billion. So if I know the cloud, like for example, can I create one research area where I can just cover entire one area with one cloud, okay, like Microsoft Azure cloud. Entire area I'll connect with the Microsoft Azure. Anything in Microsoft Azure I'll deliver it, including the home solutions and analysis. These are the few research areas and opportunities. I call it them as the digital opportunities. And these are the opportunities. You look at, okay, so first in the sensors and then all these things, okay, here the sensor and then everything is there. This is another 17 billion, and then connections and the middleware, so which connects to the consumer, and then the consumer who uses them, and then consumer which have been installed on the devices, on the house, car, on the aeroplane, and all these things. These are the different areas of opportunities within the IoT. So it's a consumer IoT is there, and as well as industrial IoT is there. So consumer, in the home is there, cell phone is there, and then connecting to the banks and connecting to the insurance, everything you can do it in the IoT. And in the US and all, as soon as you enter the bank, your phone will be connected automatically to the bank manager, and then he will create your page. I mean, he has your page, 1 or 2 page of your entire glance, entire the funding details on one page, and then he would be ready. And then as soon as you reach the desk, from the entering into the bank till the desk, it takes around 10 steps or 20 steps. But within that 20 steps, your entire thing on the dashboard. And then quickly he can ask, boss, what you want to do? what is the seva, what is the service you are expecting me to do today. So he said, no, I'm looking for the commercial loan, I'm looking for the home loan, I'm looking for the car loan. Immediately another dashboard will come, this is it. And then if you go here, percentage, interest and everything, you will show it. So now we have looked into the technological disruptive areas, how it is changing our way of doing today's world, the business, market, customer, stakeholders, everything is changing. Earlier, for one decision, we will have to spend at least 20 days. Some experts from here, India, to go to US, sit in front of them, spend hours of talking, discussion, giving them a method on method, design changes, and then revenue changes, return on investment, and then lastly boil down to the finance, the money. Okay. All these things it takes around 2 to 3 weeks, and then we will win the project. Now today, no. Click of a button, I'll submit everything, and then half an hour or 1 hour discussion on the Teams, done. Google Meet or MS Teams, okay, I'm done. And he would also take 1 day, and then he will come back in the next day, coming up with is it a yes or no, or if the yes with some conditions, because today's every customer is putting a conditions. This is the technology. Now, if you look at the management is also changing. So earlier it is like the factory model. Okay, you are one manager who manages some around 50 or 100 people. Now today's world, it is changed. Okay. It is changed so much that from the old traditional way to the new agile way it came up. So we will look into that in the digital age, how the management is changing. I mean, a delivery factor, a delivery of a product into the customer, to the market is changed. The way I execute it, or the way I come up with my coding. Okay. This is the old waterfall method. Waterfall method is what? First you gather the requirements, then you do analysis, and then you do come up with a design, and then once the design is completed, then you hand over to the coding or the delivery team, then they will start the coding. And then once the coding is done, then the testing, all these things will happen. And then once everything is done, then they will go to deployment. And then in the deployment also, first you put it in the pre-production and see that, okay, product is not disrupting disrupting the business. And then see the product is okay. And then sign off. And then you put it onto the production. Once the production you put it in 1 month, you have to monitor. For any spikes or any gaps, anything it is disrupting the today's current IT operations. This is the waterfall method. What is happening is, so for example, if I want to release one product, it will take 1 year to 2 years in the olden days. For example, one platinum card I want to release, a new platinum card for the high-end users, it will take at least 1 year to 1.5 years in the olden days. Because once the requirement is done, then only the analysis will start. Once the analysis is done, because it is a piggyback, once it is done, then another one will start. Another one is completed, then the new thing will start. It is not in a parallel, or it is not in this one. So the stakeholder or the company, they are at the loss. So I am going with this platinum card, but my competitor is already releasing into the market. See the opportunities how. So that is why they came up with one more model called, this is the waterfall method model. Okay. So the changing pattern is agile way of working. That means I am coming with a platinum card, right? So can I create a platinum card today? There are 10 benefits of this platinum card I am giving to the high-end users. So if I take a 2 benefits and then complete in the 2 months, another 2 in 2 months, another 2 in 2 months. So version wise, or the part 1, part 2, part 3, kind of that I get, and then I release that platinum card. With those 2 benefits only, not with the 10 benefits. What will happen? I will increase my revenue and speed to the market. Everything will be done. The management, the way I am doing the business in the IT world also is changing. Okay. So what will happen? So this is what it happens. traditional ways, you start once and then once the product is ready, it will be given. Like for example, home constructions. You give money and everything, and then periodically you will release the money, and then he will give you a key. In the Bangalore world, once you enter the house, only you will come to know what is the windows he is used, and then what is the wood he has used for the doors, and what are the tiles he has used, and then all these things. SLV is what? Okay, you are constructing the basement, you are constructing, and what is the iron you are putting, steel you are putting, cement you are putting, what is the size of the rod you are putting, is it a 20 or is it 18 or is it a 12? Usually here they will put a 10 and then close it. Once it goes into the this one, you don't know. After a few years, or 10 years, after 15 years, it will fall down because it is having a 10 mm only. So instead in the basement only you put a 20 mm, your product will be solid, your house will be solid. Like that in SL only, every time they will come to your table, discuss, okay, I will be, within 3 weeks, I will do this much. I'll release it to the production. And the next 3 weeks, I'll do this, and then they call it as a scrum and then all this. This is also one of the way. Hitting the everywhere. So you have anybody who are BA, BCom, and then all these things, non-engineering background, put them into this, master them, and definitely they will get a good jobs. Okay, these are the research ideas. Also here also it will come. There are so many researchers within my company only. They are doing on this. Okay. They are writing books also. They are doing research also on this. How if I do this kind of result, okay, what will happen? Okay, kind of. And transforming digital way. I'm coming to the end part of this. What is the time now? 11 o'clock. So on another 15-20 minutes, I would be completing this. Now I'm just parking for the questions or any clarifications or any questions so that I can address it. And then I'll take up this and then close it. Hello? Hello?
Sir, tell me, sir.
Any questions or anything, just let me know.
Okay, okay, sir.
Anybody? Okay, that's good, fantastic. We'll go and then probably you can. So before this, I will go once again back to my 5th CD. These are the this is another, and H index is the number for publication, patents, granted awards. Yeah. I'm just advising in 2 minutes what we have gone through.
So you have to give a timeline. The timer to show the timeline between when you're changing the position.
So disrupting technologies, cloud data and artificial intelligence, machine learning, cloud computing, data science.
Sir, could we able to get funding from IT companies, sir? Is possible? If they are having the IT.
Within TCS, I'll have to explore, sir, because it is run by the corporate. Okay. Earlier it was in Bangalore only, so now they put everything. They shifted to corporate world. Okay, so Mumbai. So I'll have to check it. Okay, they might. They already tie up with the Atal innovation labs and then all these things. And they are doing fantastic job there, and they are also coming up with these all exams. Okay. We conduct for the NEET, JEE, all the things. The backbone is the TCS one. Okay. And then similarly the funding I'll have to see. Okay, but it depends on your area, and then depends on the area we do the research. Okay. For that we have different departments. If you want anything, then I can connect with them, or I can get some information from them. Okay. Obviously, it will be there, sir. Okay. Internet of Things. There's so many opportunities. Okay. Consumer IT and then as well as industrial IoT. Management trends from waterfall to agile. We are going. In the agile, what will happen is everyone will come to a room and discuss, including the requirement capture, architect, designer, coder, tester, and the delivery implementer. Everyone will come to this one, and then everyone work together and then deliver it in 2 or 3 weeks. That 2 or 1 benefit. So it is early value, and as well as risk reduction is very less, and then the direct business collaboration. Okay. So transforming digital way. This is another one which I'm bringing onto this platform so that we can see how many opportunities, the opportunity wise, so how each industry is looking. So probably you can excel in that. So in the aerospace and in the defense value chain, so there is a development of design, manufacture, integrate parts and then components, sub-assembly, assembly to make an aircraft. But predominantly it is done in the Western world. In India, we never manufacture, we have now never ventured into the manufacturing of aeroplanes or this one except defense. And the Netherlands, Switzerland, and then the France, so these are the pioneer in this developing areas. And similarly, operate is one where can I bring any process improvements or research areas where we can improve the customer behavior or customer expectation or the customer satisfaction index, okay? And use aircraft to fly passengers, cargo between airports and all those things. Okay? And similarly, maintenance. Okay? So you produce a product, you create a product, but maintenance of that product is very important today. Okay? If you are not maintaining, okay, your laptop will go in 3 years or 4 years. Okay? You will have to manage that, okay? Because that maintenance will be another opportunity in the research area. So where you can use a blockchain methodology or the supply chain methodology to look into, and then how soon I can reach it or how soon I can fix it, kind of those things. A few research areas which would impact the maintenance of this aerospace industry. Similarly, in the retail industry, in the grocery shopping itself, there are a lot of changes that are happening during this period, COVID period. So before COVID, there was no very less. I can say 7 to 8% or 10% of the metro cities population were using online grocery shop. With COVID coming into picture and the security measures, safety measures, and all those things, the most of the people, okay, the middle class or the higher middle class, they are going for the groceries, the online groceries. Okay, they look at the grocery and then order it. If the grocery is not good, I can return it immediately. And then all these things are how much percentage they are using. If you look at on an average, almost all are at the 40 to 50% increase. 42% of the market is increased in that particular grocery shop. Okay, so can I use this as one of the research areas and then see that any research will help or speed up or understand the customer behavior when they are doing an online grocery shop. Okay, because in the online grocery shop, only one thing which is not there is the two things which are not there is one is the touch, another one is the smell. Okay. These two things are not there in the online. Okay. I cannot touch and I cannot smell it. So I can look it, I can feel it. Okay, that means looking at that fabric and then all these things. Okay, what is manufacture of that? Then I can identify, and then in 2D, 3D view I can see it, but not the exact view when I go to shopping or when I go to malls. Then see that holding onto in my hand, and then see that naked piece, and then see whether it is suitable or not. Okay, that experience is not there. So that will also come, but it takes time. Okay. It takes another revolution. Okay. Similarly, the digital is default. Okay, why digital is default? Channels are merging in the TV. All channels they are merging, and now the internet is also coming through the channel, like in the Western world. So anytime, anywhere. That is a rule number 2. Payment anytime, any day. So I cannot tell them, okay, I will pay next month, and I'll say Google Pay is there. You just pay it, done. And then everything is now. Everything wants tomorrow, today. immediately now. And the on-demand services, customer experience, all these things are like digital is going to be a default. So today, even in the Kirana merchant, I think I put all the things, okay, what I need for a monthly, I'll just WhatsApp it, and he takes in the WhatsApp because he doesn't have a platform, he doesn't have an app, okay. So he takes in the WhatsApp and then create everything and then come to home and then deliver it at the doorstep. I just pay him through the Google Pay, done. I need not go because of the COVID. And similarly, the reimagining of the shopping. So shopping experience, the user story, the experience of the user story will make a lot of difference to today's world. I go to a movie and then I tell them, a movie is good, you go it. Nobody will give me a damn single naya paisa or 100 rupees that you have recommended that. Now in today's world it is changing. If you recommend it, you will get a 10 rupees. Recommendation. If you recommend a internet this one to some your friends or relatives, you will get some amount of this one as a back. The user experience, because they are involving the users and the individual people into the business and then earning through that. You will get a customer, at the same time I am going to pay you 1 month of whatever you are offering, whatever your rent is there. Like that. So make life easy, make shopping convenient, guide in store, give me a value, hear me, talk to me. That is another one. Hear me means this product is not good and you are bringing this product, but that feedback will go and then they will change that, taking on that feedback, they will change the way they do the business. So these are all a few factors, okay, which will improve our lifestyles. And making it that, okay, the human being is a great. These are the few opportunities in the research areas and from the IT, from the industry. Okay, we are also looking into improve the customer behavior and all these things. Okay, so I think I should stop here for any questions or something. Okay. Hello?
Any questions from audience? Any questions?
Yeah. Anyway, so this is a good. Yeah. Sir.
Prabhudeva sir, I have a question.
Yeah, tell me, sir.
You said the trending areas in the AI and the digital space. So what is the horizontal impact of the cyber security and its trends into the upcoming areas of the digital district?
Okay. You were Dr. Ashok, right?
No, I am Subramanian Vajanathan.
Okay, Subramanian. Sir, I'm going back to this slide. Look at this. Okay. All the 5 are the new digital technologies need a cyber security, sir. Without cyber security, nothing will go inside and nothing will come outside. And like internet is a base backbone, and the top of it, okay, you have cloud computing, okay, which you access anywhere, anytime, anything if internet is there, and the top of it, the cyber security. So cyber security is another one branch, okay. I have not included here because it is not disrupting the today's lifestyle, but the back end it is disturbing or disruptive technology which will be used across. You take a banking, you take a insurance, you take a financial services, or you take any payment methodology or any approval, authentication or the authorization to this one. Cyber security is there. Because when you say cyber security, it is related to internet only. It is not the security I'm giving it to the home. I'm giving it to the home through the internet, internet of things, and then I use the cyber security there also. I might open the door, I might not open the door based on the credentials. So cyber security is one of the base horizontally. It is cutting across all these digital technologies. And if you are familiar with the cyber security, and if you are excelling in cyber security, and you have more opportunities, but only challenge is limited job opportunities are there for the cyber security. Because if in an organization of 500 or 400 people, it needs only one security architect and few developers. He can do wonders. And even the 1,000, 2,000 also same. So if you are having a 1 lakh or 2 lakh, okay, you need probably 5 to 6 architects come together and then design something, okay, and then just monitor it. Only thing is that once you implement the product or implement this one, you have to monitor it, okay. If any spikes are come and then all these things, you have to come up with a new few stringent compliances and then regulations, because cyber security is related to regulations, compliances, and the customer needs. If customer wants, no, I only sell it in Africa or I only sell it in the US, okay, then I'll have to put that cyber security, okay, with the geographical boundary. I have to put it into the security. For that, I need to do a lot of thinking. Okay, if somebody is coming from the outside, okay, how he is piercing into the firewall, and once a firewall is done, okay, how he is piercing into the application firewall. Okay, once application firewall, and then how he getting into the application, okay, with the user ID and password, okay, and does he have access to all the critical components within the applications. So there are many layers they are creating it, okay. They are creating and they are monitoring also. They are monitoring also digital way. Nobody will sit and then watch, okay, who is coming in and all these things. No, not like a camera. So you put a software there and then you just run it, and then when it's running 24/7, 365 days, and then if any spike is come, and then it will come on your application on your cell phone or in your laptop, and then go to that spike and then see that, okay, what is that, and then all these things, resolve it and move on. Everything is changing digital way, sir. Your question is right, okay, which I have not covered here, because it is back end, it is impacting, not the front end. And if you probably if your institute or come up with this 2 months, 1 month course in the cyber security or in the cloud computing, that would help the students. 1 day, 2 day course and all just for a certification, and they will also struggle once they go into the IT world. If it is a 15 days or 10 days or 20 days, kind of 1 hour a day or 2 hour a day, that would help them to excel, okay? Or 3 days full time, 4 days full time, kind of that. Okay? Cyber security is not easy, sir. Even I try to enter. What happens is till one level you can reach, but from that level to another level, if you have to prove it that, okay, you have worked 2 years, 3 years or 4 years, okay, and then only you will get a security architect positions. It is not so easy breaking a barrier in the security.
Hello, sir. Hello.
Yes, sir.
I am into.
One. Hello.
Go ahead, sir. I'm listening.
It is regarding the legal and regulatory and rights issues regarding the IoT. And the use of IoT devices raises many new regulatory and legal questions.
Correct.
And what is the solution for this, sir?
No, actually, what is happening in US is these all bodies are coming together. Okay. Like for example, in the olden days, they came up with for the database, and then they regulated few things, and then across the globe, those 20 or 30 parameters they have to meet, whether it is Africa, US, or India, kind of that. And top of it, you come up with your federal government restrictions and then add those regulations. So usually, what happens is when you do a business with the countries, country to country, these regulations and compliances will differ, sir. So even in the Euro also, they have a European Union and then all those things. They come up with a one regulation across the 15 Euro countries except UK. But still, when you go to Switzerland or when you go to Germany to implement these products, and then the federal government will impose few restrictions. I have to accommodate that compliances and then there's those regulatory measures into my product and then deliver it. So the best way is, okay, first you excel in one geography and then slowly you can expand with the partnership. Because in those geographies I might not have experience. So if I want to explore that, there's somebody who has done already something. So you just tie up with him and do a couple of papers and then you get into that particular thing, country. Because that regulations will kill us. Okay, every time the regulation will change. Say for example, I remember when 9/11 happened, it was very difficult for us, okay, because they almost stopped 6 months issuing credit cards and then the debit cards. You remember? Because they come up with something new and then they one database, and I'll have to integrate that into this one, so that okay, if Saddam Hussein is there, you should not issue a credit card. Okay, or if any Iraqi, this one is there, they should not issue credit card, debit card, or anything like that. So that compliance, regulatory mandatory regulatory, I have to include in my every applications across globe for that company. Okay. That is when one of the things, okay, but suddenly it will come. Like for example, GST, I mentioned GST. Nowhere GST was there in 2016 behind. Okay, nobody knows it. Okay, just it depends on the CA and then the financial institutions how they submit it, and then based on that, Indian government also approves and then go ahead. And then one day Satyam happened. Satyam company completely they destroyed the crores of business and crores of credibility to the India. Again they come up with the measures. So now the central government is coming up with the GST. And on top of it, GST that is becoming, now they are making it simpler. The GST will make it simpler. Just click of a button, everything is done. So now the fraud in the GST also they found out in a couple of weeks back. So now they are understood, okay, even in the GST also we can do a fraud. So how do I avoid this fraud? So now they might come up with another Aadhaar card like GST card. Okay. Who knows? Okay, I don't know. Aadhaar identification for the GST. So if you have identification, then only you can submit. Kind of that. We don't know. Okay, so because these are all the compliance with which the federal government, each country will put it. Okay, not only India, everywhere it is there. So everywhere when it is changes, then you will have to incorporate immediately, and that too it will go on the high speed, and then within 2-3 weeks we will have to deliver it. We have to capture the requirement, we have to design it, test it, and then get approval from everybody, and then artificial governance, and then the delivery stakeholders, and then you go into the production within 2 or 3 weeks. It will be very quick when regulatory measures or compliance will come. But it is very challenging, because it doesn't come. But if it comes within few weeks, we have to do it. Across every. Even the banking also, if you take a GST comes in, and then you remember like all 30 banks, they have to include this piece in their software code, right? And similarly, all the paint, Asian Paint, and then all the building materials, all the Kirana merchants, all the malls, they have to get this piece of code in their applications, so that at the end of the month or end of the week, or they have to create a bill with the GST, and that too in a state GST and then the central GST, everything. It's a good opportunity, but it's a regulatory. Everyone has to mandatorily follow it, okay, right? But it differs. All the regulatory and the compliance, at some level they are all okay. At some level, like 20-30 parameters are okay. But beyond that 20-30 parameters, and US may influence another 30 parameters, or UK might influence another 25 parameters, so that 50 parameters you need to meet when a product is getting released. This is not such an easy one, but India is a playground. You can play around here. Okay? So that much government has given freedom for us, okay? Because all the startup he has 3 years. You don't need to pay any taxes. All the startups. So that is a good advantage for me. Okay, if I have a small amount and then I can do a this one what is research and then do trial and error and then come up with some product. And for example, in a few colleges I have started, as soon as the student enter the college itself, automatically it will be recognized him through his phone, and then it will be given an external attendance, not the in-class attendance. That means he is in the campus, but he has not attended the session. If you attend a session, automatically that also will be captured. The student is no need to swipe it or no need to do it. That also they are exploring it. But this will come when the software industry becomes very smooth, and then every college, every institute, every company will install this and implement this. Did I answer your question, sir? Hello? Yeah, thanks. And nowadays also it is one of the things is coming as the industry people also collaborating with the academics and then coming up with the joint research papers. That is another advantage it's giving for academics also, because they are also giving the industry views, and industry people also because they are also involving with the academics, so that that gap is more that we'll have to reduce. That is the reason even in TCS we have our own teams. We usually go to these colleges and then deliver lecturers, webinars, or workshops, sessions on this disruptive digital technologies. And top of it, okay, what is the expectation from the industry, and then how your attitude leads you to altitude, okay, to the students, okay, all those things. And moreover, the top of it also, the Microsoft, Google, and all these people, they come up with some research ideas in the social behavior and on the behavior of the African people, or behavior of the Indian tribes, or the nature, or the water. They have some fund they kept for those kind of researchers. So probably if you decode how to get into this, get these fundings from the industries, so that would help you a lot. Okay, even the money is coming up, and Wipro, Ajim Premji has come up. Okay, so many things. One thing is the convincing the stakeholders, getting the project and then delivering it. Okay, and then once you deliver it, the people will recognize. But if you are not delivering first time, so probably I will suggest, okay, you go with the people who have already done these things, and then tie up with them and do one or two, and then you start with your own. Like how we do international papers. Huh? So we won't do one single man. Okay, we will align with the few people who have already done excelled in that area at the international level. We collaborate with them and then do jointly the paper and then publish it. Okay. Kind of that we will have to do it. Okay. The beginning. Okay. Once you establish one or two, if you have done it, then everyone will recognize. And then central government is also coming up with so much of money. DRDO is there. And this all the PSUs, okay, public sector units, okay, which work for the army. They are all coming up with a lot of research funds, because they don't have a time to do all these researches. Probably if you go in and ask them, and then if you have a team, they will definitely encourage you to do those things. Okay. But the only thing is the credential is the major one, okay, because this is all army related, and then the one is the cyber security, another one is the skills, the third one is the the data security. Okay. Or data security, that is main important when we are dealing with the army related projects. Okay. Everyone has it. BL is having, DRDO is having, and all this everybody is having the money. Only thing is everyone will not win that, okay, because of this. I told you, the E factor, the H factor, the H factor, and then the number of patents and number of papers and then all these things in that particular area. That's the reason the organization, I mean, institutes will make a major impact. If I am done with the IAM or IITs or IAC, then it makes a major impact. And even the retired people from there also you can tie up and then you can start. That is another good thing. But a lot of institutes are doing it nowadays. Nitya is doing, and then other BMS IT, they are also getting this defense people into the academics, and then through them they are getting some projects. But you will have to explore. But I don't know how they are exploring because it's all academics. So I'm not part of that journey. IT world, yes, I can tell you. Okay. Yes, sir. Any other questions, sir? It needs a lot of courage also, and some of the companies also very good. They are also tying up with academics like SAP. They are tying up with this, and then the Amazon, they are tying up with the institutions. But you will have to explore them. They can, if the management is okay, and your management is okay to invest something, and then they can go ahead and then create a labs, and then use open that for every student, and then so that they can explore and then get acquainted with Amazon, AWS, web services, and all this is all Microsoft related. Because they have their own agenda with working with academics, and they are also looking for the new developers, coders. If they excel, if they know Microsoft products before their degree completion, they will get a good company also. That is also one of the factors. The few people have done it, few organizations they have done it. Probably you will have to explore those also, so that you can get 1,500 or 10,000 square feet of space, so that they can come in and establish labs. Only thing is this involves the money and the management support and the people who manage that maintenance. Because this what I've seen, what I observed, okay, I'm bringing here, all the private universities, they have a luxury of that experimenting, okay, with these disruptive technologies, establishing the labs and then conducting workshops and sending the people to the Google Hackathon. To change the observation. Private universities, they are doing good. So they see, nowadays they are coming with the MTech in data science and MTech in artificial intelligence, MTech in cloud computing, they come up, which is not possible in the VTU. Okay, VTU has to change that mindset and then come in the digital way, and then give a permission to all the colleges, institutes to start new things. Slowly, the funding mechanism will also change with this new central government. Okay, most probably. If you go to Atal, I think you know Atal, they have very good investment opportunities there. Okay? So you can just provide something and then get those investments for the engineering colleges, especially labs. Anyway. Anything else, sir? Any other question?
Any other queries?
Queries?
Okay, sir. Could we conclude, sir?
Yeah, sir. Yeah, sir. Go ahead.
Okay, we are extremely thankful to Prabhudeva sir for his gracious presence and presenting the topic on digital consultancy. He gave in-depth knowledge about IT industries and regarding the digital world and what are the opportunities in the digital world and how we are going to get funding from government organizations and private organizations. What are the things uh, we have the strength, then we can get the projects and all. It was indeed a privilege to have Dr. Prabhudeva sir, eminent personality, and his insightful lecture on this digital consultancy and opportunities were full of valuable information. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Madam.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. So, anything? So we can wind up, sir? Or,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
okay. Thank you, sir.
Once again, I thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, sir.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you for all measures. Thank you, Nagaraj sir.
Okay.
So we'll have session 2 starting at 2 o'clock by Dr. Shobha, Senior Professor, Consultant and Researcher, RV College of Engineering. Madam has got consultancy up to 200 lakhs. So she will share her experience with us. Okay. So we will request you to join at 2 o'clock. And I have sent a PDF file. In that the link is available. You can use the link to join. So the morning there was a little bit problem that we have rectified it. Okay, so you will not have a problem in the afternoon. Thank you for participating. We'll meet at 2 o'clock today afternoon. Thank you all.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Hello. Consultancy Development Center. Consultancy. ಸಿಕ್ತೇನ್ರಿ ರಿಜಿಸ್ಟ್ರೇಷನ್ ಫೈಲ್ ಹೌದಾ ಹೌದಾ ಓಕೆ ಹಾ